Hello everyone, and welcome to our live session, our actual last live session of the year. From everyone at Unconscious Moderation, we want to thank you for being here. If it's your first time, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. We are very excited to put this live out before all of the celebration of the end of the year begins. Christmas is upon us, New Year is upon us, and for many people who are trying to resignify their relationship with alcohol, is this time of year, it's fun, it's enjoyable, you're with family, with friends, but it can also be tough because all the celebrations sometimes revolve around alcohol. And trying to resignify your relationship if you are not drinking right now, or if you're choosing moderation when you're around this celebrations can be a little bit tough. And first of all, we see you, we hear you, we understand. And that's why we want to talk a little bit more about finding the joy beyond the drinks. So how to transform your experiences at parties and at celebrations without alcohol. That's the main goal of this live session today. So first I wanted to make it a little bit more universal. So picture that you are getting ready for your party. Your favorite playlist is playing on the background, you're choosing what to wear, and there's like this flutter of anticipation and excitement in your stomach, in your chest, but then a thought creeps in, and it's, how am I going to have fun without alcohol? And maybe you decided to take a break from alcohol, maybe you are practicing moderation yourself, or maybe you realize that your relationship with alcohol didn't serve you. Well, for whatever reason, really, that you choose to make the step into changing your relationship, it's very important and very valid. But now you're standing at this threshold wondering, how can I actually find joy in this place, in a celebration beyond the drinks? Will I be the only one not drinking? Will everyone be having more fun than me? Or would I be awkward a little bit? And here's what this makes it so challenging. For years, maybe decades, your brain has associated celebration with alcohol. So your brain has learned that parties equals drinks, that joys equals the champagne bubbling, or connection equals the clicking of the glasses, and the release equals a sip of wine. And now you're asking your brain to change that and rewire all before 6 p.m., the time that you have to be at the party. That's rough. And here's the truth that I really want you to remember. The joy that you've experienced so far at the parties is never actually about alcohol. It was always within you. So the laughter, the connection, the sense of freedom, those are chemicals that were produced by your brain, not by the drink, but by your own genuine natural brain. And alcohol didn't create the fun. It just gave you the permission to access what was already there. So today we are going to explore something very profound, and it's how to transform your experience at parties when you are not drinking, and not by white knuckling your way through them. Really, it's not by feeling deprived or anything like that. It's more about genuinely discovering what gives you joy beyond those drinks. And we'll dive into the neuroscience of it all, the pleasure of connection, and understanding what's actually going in your brain when you're at parties. And we will also explore a practical part, which is explore some tools that give you real-time access to those natural highs, those feel-good chemicals. And we will also try and talk about how to shift the focus from missing out from parties because you are not drinking to gaining and to finding joy, into gaining clarity and presence and genuine connection. By the time that we end this live, and I really hope that you understand that either sobriety or moderation, it's not about depriving yourself. It's more about expanding yourself and discovering how you process all those internal tools to generate genuine joy and genuine feel-good chemicals and actually have a good time at parties. And this is also about you reclaiming the power to create the joy naturally rather than artificially. So let's dive into the neuroscience. So let's start with a fundamental question. What is actually happening inside of your brain when you're having fun at a party? That's a real live question. It's like, what's going on up there? And when you're genuinely enjoying yourself, laughing with your friends, dancing, or feeling connected to someone, your brain is producing a very sophisticated cocktail of neurochemicals. So the first one would be dopamine, which is the motivation and the reward chemical. So the dopamine actually creates a sense of anticipation and pleasure. So when you are excited about being at a party, when you're laughing because someone made you laugh or because you're connecting with someone, you are having dopamine flooding your brain, naturally created dopamine. There is also something called serotonin, which is a mood stabilizer. So it creates those feelings of, I am content right now. I feel confident. I feel socially at ease. I feel calm. And you feel like you belong, that you're comfortable in your own skin and that you're genuinely present at the moment. And that is the work of serotonin. Then we also have oxytocin, which is the bonding hormone. So it's released during the physical touch, eye contact, or meaningful conversation. We gotta understand that humans, we are meant to connect. That's our main thing. So when you hug a friend, when you're having a deep conversation, learning about someone, or when you truly really feel seen, oxytocin is strengthening those bond chemicals, those bonds actually. Then we also have endorphins, which is your body's natural opioids. So these are created by feelings of euphoria, and it actually helps you with pain relief. So when you are dancing or laughing really hard or experiencing physical movement, endorphins are the chemicals that make you feel amazing. And here's what I think it's really crucial to understand, that you don't need alcohol to produce all these chemicals. Your brain is fully capable of generating these chemicals by itself, which is pretty awesome. So now the question is, why do we feel that alcohol is necessary to have fun? And it's because alcohol does something really sneaky. So it artificially floods your brain with dopamine while also simultaneously lowering your inhibitions. So research shows that when you drink, your brain releases dopamine in the reward pathways. And here's what most people really don't realize about this. Dopamine is this artificially created dopamine is followed by a crash. So your brain starts producing less dopamine naturally because it is expecting that artificial boost of alcohol. And over time, you train your brain to associate parties with the artificial release of dopamine. So your brain stops developing naturally. Your brain says party equals alcohol, dopamine equals fun. And that is learned by association, not by a biological requirement. And it is just like, it's important to know that just like you learn that, you can unlearn that. And there's also something that I found really fascinating, and that there's an analysis of 36 alcohol administration studies that found that alcohol's mood enhancing effects are highly context dependent. So when these researchers studied people who were drinking in scripted, controlled environments, like interacting with people from the study following a protocol, alcohol showed almost no mood enhancement. So the effect was essentially zero at this point. And when people drank at unscripted spaces, social situations with genuine participants, strangers met, or like meeting strangers or other people around you, it created 89% a significant enhancement of mood. So what does that actually tell us? So the joy that you experience at parties, it's not coming from the alcohol itself, but it's coming from the social interaction that you're having with people. And this is the unpredictable and genuine part of human connection. So alcohol wasn't creating that fun. It was actually something that was there. You drank. It altered your mood, your body, but it didn't alter your mood. What altered your mood was the environment you were at. So alcohol was not creating the fun. It was just reducing the fear of the social rejection to let you access what was already possible. So your brain has everything it needs to create those natural highs. And let me explain how. So the first thing would be movement and dance. When your body moves through, especially through music, it's something deeply engraved in our brains. Like, I'm talking ancestors, It's something that produces natural dopamine. And even a simple movement like swaying or tapping your foot can trigger this feel-good chemicals. And this is why dancing feels so liberating, with or without alcohol. And I talk a lot about this with my clients. I tell them, have during the day 1 minute of free dance. Put on music. You can be in the bathroom. You can be in your room. You can be in your backyard, but dance. It actually, and it has been proven, it creates longevity. It boosts your mood. And maybe it's a little bit quirky and you don't know how to dance, like the special steps or the moves. Not needed. You just need to move your body to the rhythm of music however you choose to. There's also another tool that can help you access those natural highs, which is deep breathing. So when you are taking slow rhythmic breaths, you are activating the parasympathetic nervous system. And what that means is that you are having a relaxation response. And this floods your body with oxygen and it produces a natural high. So a lot of people ask around this situation about breathing, like, how can I access that? I've never done breath work before, but you breathe naturally all the time. And it's just taking deep inhales, holding, and having even longer exhales. That is how you activate that parasympathetic nervous system. And there's a beautiful thing that they share with us in yoga, and it's you have a limited amount of breaths in your life. So make them long and make them steady so you can have a long life. And I thought it was so beautiful because when you're nervous or when you're stressed out, taking very, very short and shallow breaths. So when you actually take deep inhales and long exhales, that is how you tell your body, I am safe right now in this moment because I am with myself and I can take care of myself. There's also another tool that is laughter and connection. So genuine laughter triggers an endorphin release in your brain, which can be done with like hanging out with friends or having meaningful eye contact with people or physical touch like hugging or holding hands or a pat in the back. It releases oxytocin, and that is a very, very powerful bonding experience that can create joy without a substance involved. So that is also a way you can find those moments of happiness at a party. Just find people and have actual physical, meaningful contact with them, or create a connection where you have a meaningful conversation. There's another way to develop those naturally feel good neurochemicals, and it's with music and anticipation. So listening to music you love actually releases dopamine to your brain. And the anticipation of your favorite song or the buildup of your song before the drop is letting your brain know that the reward chemicals are on their way, and it's pure sound and rhythm. So those are very practical, very accessible tools for anyone who is at a party. And here's something that I think is very empowering, and it's your brain has the neuroplasticity and the ability to rewire itself based on experience. So every time you have a genuine, joyful experience at a party without drinking, you are strengthening those neural pathways. So parties can mean presence, it can mean natural chemicals, it can mean fun. And research shows that it takes around 21 to 30 days to start forming those pathways, or to strengthen those already there pathways through a repeated experience. And this is why this first month of changing your relationship with alcohol, you are rewiring your brain's autopilot responses. So you can come back and ask yourself, why am I having these thoughts that I need to drink? You're only in your first 30 days. It's okay. It's more than okay that you are having these thoughts or these intrusive thoughts about drinking, because you are rewiring years of learned experience by experiencing new things. And those new things can be challenging and can be scary. So you got to give yourself grace in that period. But with each sober or moderate drinking experience at a party, you are choosing joy, and you are choosing to laugh genuinely because that's what you did. You are choosing to connect genuinely because that is what you know and what you did. And you are building these new associations. So in a way, it's try to expose yourself to these situations and try to see it from a curiosity standpoint rather than a restrictive standpoint. So you are providing you're proving to your brain actually, and you're providing your brain the enough information to know that alcohol was not the source of having fun. And the fun was always in you. So now let's talk about the psychological shift that makes the difference between white knuckling your way through parties and actually enjoying them. So when you first stop drinking and start moderating, your brain often defaults to this thought of I'm depriving myself, and it's a narrative. It's I can't drink, I'm giving up something, and everyone is having fun, but I am not. And this narrative is rooted in the limiting belief that drinking is essential to have fun and have social connection. So as long as you hold that belief, every party will feel like a sacrifice. Every party will feel like you are depriving yourself. But what if we completely reframe this thought? That could be the key of changing and feeling actual joy. So there's something that a person said, that its true freedom is not found in the license to drink, but it's in the discipline or the restraint to have fun when you are not drinking. So when you can go and party and fully be present and dance like nobody's watching and connect deeply with people and create those euphoric moments for yourself without needing alcohol, that is where freedom actually lies. So you are not dependent on the access that the substance is giving you, or to find your power at the end of a bottle. You are no longer cycling through the pattern of artificially enhanced chemicals followed by a crash, because I didn't mention this before, but when you naturally enhance those moments of joy, and when you have this highs created by a substance, the crash is even harder because your brain didn't actually create those neurochemicals. So at the end, your brain was not ready to handle the coming down. So your presence is really enough. And your authentic self is really enough. So we got to start to reframe the thought of alcohol equals fun. And the most important mindset shift really is recognizing that you possess all the internal tools to intentionally generate those feel-good chemicals and good vibes. And think about the best moments you've had at parties and strip away the alcohol of the moment. What was actually creating the joy? What was the conversation that your friend was having that you both laughed so hard that you couldn't breathe? Or the moment when your favorite song came and everyone rushed to the dance floor to start dancing? Or the moment that you felt this thing that I think it's beautiful, which is the vulnerability of sharing something real with someone. Or maybe the silliness of a dance-off that sometimes happens. And those moments of connection, of laughter, of movement, and of presence, that is where joy actually lives, not alcohol. Alcohol was actually just giving you the permission to access those moments and to let yourself or the inhibitions come down. But you don't need that permission anymore, because you can give yourself that permission to be silly or vulnerable or fun while being completely present. So now we got to understand the redefining of what you are really gaining when you choose to moderate or not to drink alcohol. So instead of focusing of missing by not drinking, you can actually focus on what you are gaining. So the first thing would be clarity. So remember that every conversation, every moment that you had, every connection will still be there. Nothing gets lost on the fog or on the blackouts. You're also gaining presence. You are actually there. You are numbing yourself. You are not numbing yourself out, and you are not disconnected from your body. You are fully experiencing life as it is and as it unfolds, really. You are also gaining energy. So you wake up the next day and the next morning without the hangover, your body fully rested, because alcohol, that's a myth that alcohol helps you sleep. It gives you the first hours, you get knocked out. It's It's actually a sedation. But afterwards, you get woken up at 3 a.m. because your body's coming down from that chemical high that alcohol gave you. So you actually gain energy. You wake up feeling rested and not with a pounding in your head. And your body's not really spending all of its resources to process the toxins, because alcohol is really experienced in our bodies as a toxic thing. And your body has to do a lot to change alcohol from a toxic to something that it can process, and it can take a lot of energy. So you are actually having all this energy to let yourself have a good morning. You are also gaining actual connection. So the people who you are connecting with, they are real, and it's not alcohol influenced that you went to talk to these people. You are genuinely there, and you are creating that connection. And the friendships that you are building are because of you and not because you decided to drink with them. Of course, this applies for fully quitting drinking, or maybe moderation, because you are present. Your brain is not foggy, so you can actually determine how to be there and how to connect with people. Then you're also gaining self-trust, which every time you honor your commitment to yourself, you are building trust. So that's why a lot of people say, oh, it's easier to go to the gym when I have a partner to go to, because that person is waiting for me at the gym at 5:30 in the morning, 6 a.m., or whatever time you guys set. Someone is waiting for you. But when you're doing it alone, sometimes motivation lacks. And it's okay, motivation will lack. But when you have someone relying on you, you will show up for that person. But now, what you're developing is that you're showing up for yourself. You are creating that trust that once you make a decision for yourself, you're going to follow through. And that is actual self-love. Self-love is not self-care Sundays and the sheet masks and getting a massage every time I feel stressed out, because life gets in the way, really. But self-love is showing up for yourself. You're also gaining physical health. So what I was telling you, the sleep improves. Your liver can recover from this. Your brain heals. Your skin clears up. Your anxiety actually decreases. And when you shift the focus from depriving yourself to see what am I gaining, everything changes. The story and the narrative that you have in your brain completely change. And when you shift this focus, you stop that feeling of, oh, I'm missing out. And you're realizing that you're actually not missing a lot, but you're gaining so much more. And you're gaining something far more valuable along the way when you decide to make those things. Or those changes, actually. So now let's get practical. And what can you actually do at a party when you want to access that joy without alcohol? So the first thing would be a breathwork boost. And what I told you, breathwork doesn't mean that you have to be 30 minutes just completely focused on your breath. But breathwork means that your breath is one of the most powerful tools to shift from different states. So when you take deep rhythmic breathing, you can create a natural high. And this high can flood your system with oxygen, and it actually activates your parasympathetic nervous system. So now how to use it. So before you set a foot into a party, take 2 to 3 minutes of breathing. You inhale deeply you hold for 4 counts. Then after those 4 counts, you exhale through your mouth for 4 counts. And you hold for 4. This one is called the box breathing. You can repeat it 10 times. This activates your brain's or your body's parasympathetic nervous system, and it actually reduces anxiety. And it can boost your endorphins. At this moment, don't cling on to the thoughts. Don't cling on to, oh, I'm going to a party and I have to count and I have to do. No. Just stay there and let the thoughts come and go, because that's what they are. They are not you. They are just a thought. And at that moment, when you work on letting a thought go and see it as a thing that your brain does, it can help you actually reach that state and release all those feel-good neurochemicals. And you can do this before you go into a party, or you can actually do it when you are in a party and you're feeling anxious or unsure of yourself. Excuse yourself to the bathroom. Step outside for a moment. Take 5 to 10 deep breaths. And you will feel how your nervous system regulates. And you will feel how you return to your body into a more grounded and present person. So that is one of the main things. There is also another tool that I would love to share with you, which is movement as a medicine. So movement is one of the fastest ways to shift your energy and to produce those naturally feel-good chemicals. And when you move your body, especially like through music, your brain actually produces dopamine, which gives you motivation and focus, and it produces serotonin, which it helps you balance your mood. So movement becomes really an enhancer and can rewire your brain and can rewire your brain's and body connection. And think of it as an emotional hygiene that tells your nervous system, I am safe, I am grounded, and I'm capable of creating joy. And dance, even if it feels awkward at first, is something that creates that. So move your body and put yourself maybe near to the speakers where you can feel the bass vibrating through your body, and let the music really move you. And before you're thinking judgment things about how you're dancing, let yourself be. And if dancing actually feels vulnerable, start small. You can tap your foot, you can sway, you can use your shoulders and build onto that momentum. So dancing actually gets you out of those analytical mind into that body connection. And this is where joy lives. So not through your thoughts, but through your body moving. A third tool that you can have and you can use is having something in your hand that helps you feel more comfortable and deflects the question. So you can hold a water on the rocks and it actually looks like a cocktail. Or you can bring sparkling water. Or you can actually get creative and build a mocktail for you. And any beverage really that you enjoy, maybe a kombucha. And this works as any celebration. You can click to that. And the psychological thing about like holding a drink that satisfies the ritual of the drinking culture, and you still can participate while having your drink, the one that you choose without missing out. And this is also a way that people will stop like asking you, oh, like, why aren't you drinking? You are clearly holding a beverage. You are drinking. You're not drinking alcohol. Then you have a fourth tool, which is a proactive social engagement. So one of the biggest moments or anxiety triggers at parties is standing there, not talking to anyone and feeling awkward. The solution is be proactive in that connection. So start a conversation early before the anxiety builds, or be curious about others. When you ask open-ended questions like, how do you know the host? Or what's been the best part of your week? Or have you been to any concerts lately? It keeps the conversation light. It keeps the conversation playful. You can actually use humor through that. And it keeps the conversation centered on other people and not you and your choices. And this is a true foundation of confidence, being able to speak about others and about their lives and be genuinely interested and, as I said, curious. And when you focus on genuinely connecting with others rather than managing your own anxiety about what you are doing or not doing, or if you're holding a drink or not, you become more interested in their stories and less self-conscious. So shift the focus. Then another tool that you could use is have a strategic environment selection. Not all parties are created equal. Some environments are very natural and more conducive to having joy. So choose wisely those places. Go to events that have activities beyond drinking. So it could be a concert, it could be a comedy show, it could be a game night, it could be dinner parties where you have great food. You can actually select venues that genuinely bring you joy. Go to places with good music, who have comfortable spaces or interesting atmosphere. Or maybe it could be a bar, but make sure that you are at a bar where they have darts, or they have a pool table, or they have other activities. So when you prioritize gathering with people who you actually connect with and not just for obligation, that changes everything. And when the environment itself is engaging, you don't need alcohol to make it more interesting. The activity provides that structure and that joy. Then another tool that you can have is reframe that practice. So when your mind offers you the thought of everyone else is having more fun than me, or I am missing out, reframe that thought. How can you practice those reframings? Actually, that's they're not having more fun than me. They're just using alcohol and I'm not. That doesn't mean that they're having more fun and I feel alive. Or I'm not missing out on alcohol. I'm gaining clarity. I'm gaining presence and I'm gaining genuine connection. And this awkwardness can be temporary and my brain is just adjusting to the new way of being. And every time I practice this, it can get easier. Or you can say to yourself, the real party is happening within me. I am producing dopamine, I am producing serotonin, I am producing endorphins that will come, rise, peak, and fall naturally without a crash. And the stories that we tell ourselves, it's how we shape our reality and our responses. So when you practice positive reframes, you are not being delusional and you're not being like toxic positivity. You are training your brain to see that spark of joy rather than the darkness. And another tool that you guys can use is the confidence protection. So here's what it's important about declining drinks. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And energy really matters. So if you decline a drink while you are projecting, oh, I'm feeling deprived, I'm feeling weak, I'm feeling sad, people will push back. They read on that and they'll try to save you from that suffering. But when you decline a drink with confidence and happiness and playfulness, people rarely challenge this. So try this responses of like, I'm good, water tonight, but thank you though. I would love to hear about your trip or anything that happened to that person. You know what? Not drinking tonight, but watch me destroy the dance floor later. Or I am on a health kick and I'm actually feeling amazing. Want to join me for a mocktail? So when your own choice, or when you own your own choice with confidence, others respect that. And if they push back, it's actually their relationship with alcohol and not you. It's also important, and this is one of the last tools that we can share tonight, which is have an exit strategy. So know your limits and have a plan for leaving. And decide beforehand how you will get home. You can drive yourself, or you can arrange a ride, or you can use an app. But give yourself the permission to leave early if you need to. There is no badge of honor for staying in a place where you feel uncomfortable. And have a few excuses right there in hand of like, no, I have an early morning tomorrow. And you know you have an early tomorrow. It could be just to sit down on your porch and drink coffee. But you want to wake up and you want to feel clear-headed. Or you know what? I have to go. I'm not feeling that great, but thank you so much for having me. Or have confidence in telling the person. And if you are in a party, feel free to reach for that person that you have there, that can be a trusted friend. And you can say, hey, I'm not feeling great. Help me out. Or beforehand, you can tell that friend, like, hey, this is my first party without alcohol. I'm putting myself out there, but I need your support, and let's have an exit strategy. And having that reduces the anxiety because you are not feeling trapped and you're actually choosing to be there, and you can choose when to leave. And when you have that thought of like, I can choose when to leave, that actually creates in your brain like, oh, I actually want to be here and I want to hang out with these people. So now, after sharing all those tools and everything that we've been discussing today, which is the neuroscience of joy and the mindset shifts and then the practical tools that hopefully you guys can use, I want to introduce another tool, which is the unconscious moderation app, which helps you integrate everything that we shared on a deeper level. So a lot of tools around the world, they rely on willpower and they miss the unconscious mind, which is one of the reasons where we can find the origin of why alcohol is there in your life and what purpose was it serving. And remember, 95% of our daily behavior can be driven by unconscious processes. Some unconscious processes might be serving you. And for example, I don't have to think it through because I have a routine and I will always wake up to go to the gym. But some other unconscious processes might not be serving you. So those are the ones that we tackle through unconscious moderation. And we have three main tools there. So the first one would be hypnotherapy. And this is not like a crazy, they're gonna have the control of my mind. It's more of like accessing those deep relaxation moments when you are okay and your body feels safe, so you can go deeper into a guided meditation. A second tool would be the journaling, which the unconscious mind actually doesn't speak the language. They don't speak English. The unconscious mind speaks through signals and symbols. So when you journal, when you sit down and write things out, it funnels everything that is going up in your head into the movement of your hand. And that can always give you the possibility of like, I wrote down, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Maybe that is because I feel that I need to set boundaries with myself or with others. So it lets you dive deeper into those feelings. And then the third tool would be movement. So for us, it's really important that you keep on moving your body. And it goes from hip opening exercises to legs up the wall or a small walk. Anything that gets your body moving and activating those feel-good neurochemicals. So the Unconscious Moderation app has a 90-day program, which is so amazing because creating a habit actually takes time. It's not 21 days. It takes a little bit longer. So the first month is about no alcohol. Then that first month is no alcohol to understand your relationship with alcohol and understand why you were using it. Then the second month is about moderation. You can decide whether to drink or not to drink. And you will have a drink tracker. You will have access to information of different topics that you think are exciting. We actually have a masterclass within our app. We also have readings. And then the third month is about exercising your choices and exercising that awareness that you've developed in month 2, month 3, and then the first month, the second month, and the third month. So that is what we want you to know about the 90-day program. It's a full journey. You will be there. You will have a community. You have experts behind this, creating all this content, and that you can reach out to as well. So the app is available on the App Store and Google Play Store. And if you've been struggling to enjoy parties without alcohol and you're feeling that you are missing out and that you need to access genuine joy rather than those artificial highs, the Unconscious Moderation app is here to support you. So today we talked about a lot of things, a lot of different tools. So please be free to share the tools that you've come to and that you use during parties or during gatherings when you are not drinking. And of course, remember to follow along in the process of Unconscious Moderation. We are building a community here. Comment in the video. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and we are here building a community. So happy to have you here. Want to wish you very, very happy holidays, happy family or friends gathering, a wonderful new year, and we want to join you in those new year resolutions and start changing your drinking habits in your relationship with alcohol. Stay conscious and stay free.